Hello.
Hello. So here's the deal. Sky is got temporarily stuck in traffic. She's like rushing her little buns through her house right now to get in. So we're gonna just like hang for a few minutes before we get started because these things happen. They happen. It's fine. So how's everyone doing today?
On this bright, sunny,
Sunday morning. Yeah, I would say like bright and beautiful, but it is gray and gross here.
Here too.
It's gray,
Liliana.
but like sunny.
Yeah, it was snowing, like not really snowing, but like flurrying earlier, and I'm just like, quit it.
I don't think it's even that
already. No. We're done here.
Exactly.
Enough.
Yeah.
No
I
more.
would like to sit on my balcony again. I am tired of this shenanigan that the weather is putting us
with it.
That's
Seriously.
right. So has everyone had a good weekend? It's bright here too, bright. Yeah, that's a good problem to have, Joy. I would love to have that problem.
Yeah.
I have sister in my ears, so it's like summer.
If your ears say summer, the reality says
the realities of life. I'll just say in this summer land. Actually, no, I don't like hot weather.
It's gray and gross in the UK. It was 20 degrees 5 days ago, and then 2 days ago it was snowing and -2. Yeah. I'm done with this. This is
the extremes.
It's been
just hard.
Yeah.
The worst, like trying to get the kids to wear jackets or anything to school because they're like, no, like it's summer. It's spring now. It was
like,
summer
yes,
2 weeks ago. And I'm like, it was summer and now it's winter again. So just put the coat on.
We had like 2 like nice-ish days like a week ago. And I was like, I guess I can finally hang up my winter coat.
Yeah.
And then like 2 days later it was like snowstorming. I was like,
Mother Nature's like, did you forget where you live?
Yeah.
Are you new?
Yeah. You new here?
Excuse me. I didn't authorize this coat retirement quite yet. No.
It happened the weekend that we had, was it last weekend? I think we had snow and we had somebody come up from like Georgia or something who was up here for like a job interview and stuff. And they're really hoping this person takes the job. And then they're like, why are you snowing in April when we're trying to convince like a southerner to move up here? Stop it. We're like, it's not always like this. Yeah, it is. It's always like this. We're sorry. Please still take the job.
100% always like this. No, my mom's from like southern Jersey, and I'm pretty sure her first winter in Canada, she was like, and she didn't move directly from Canada, from southern Jersey. It's worse than that. She moved from Thailand to Canada.
Okay.
That's
nightmare. A job. Because Jersey gets pretty bad too. So
yeah. But it's like, the cold weather in Thailand is like 20 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
So then going from that to, Canada. Yeah. You know what, Joy? Exactly. What a nightmare that would have been. It wouldn't be me. Listen, if I move somewhere warm, you wouldn't get me back.
Right? Mm-hmm. No,
gone.
Forever.
Just be, here we go. Yay!
She came.
Sorry about
she's
that,
going to be
guys.
huffing and puffing.
Yeah, have some water.
All right. So, okay, everyone watching, we're trying out a new thing today. So we're warning you ahead of time so that you're not taken unawares when we suddenly start again. So we're going to actually do our first ever attempt at a live podcast recording today. So we're going to be doing our intro and everything. And then we still want your communication and comments throughout this. So that's what we're doing. So we're technically restarting right now when I go in with our usual intro. So do not be alarmed. This is just know that since this is a live podcast recording, your comments may be read aloud during it. So
So think about things
just
before you
that,
type.
keep that in mind. That's right, Lucy. Aye, Captain. All right. So we are going to begin right now. So we're going to do our usual. My mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, but I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the Certified Noonas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
I'm Jessie.
I'm Natalia.
And I'm Sky.
And welcome to our first ever live podcast recording. Yay, that's right. So for anyone listening in, this was actually a live stream that we did that we decided to try our hand at a live podcast recording to go with our live screening that we did the night before recording this of the new mafia show from Thailand called KinnPorsche. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We are, delving into episode 1 of KinnPorsche, which is unusual for us because usually when we do these, they're for Korean shows and you get the 2 episodes.
Yeah, you get a little bit more to talk about. So now we're just like, make all of our assumptions now.
Yeah, we gotta listen. I don't think any of us have read the novel that it's based on.
No.
So we know as much as anyone else going into this. So it's gonna be, it's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a good time. And we have our live audience commentators here.
Yeah, they'll help the discussion. If we
Help
don't know
the
what to
discussions
think about.
already. We've got Liliana saying this is very exciting. I feel like I'm behind the scenes. And Angela saying for some reason I thought the intro was pre-recorded and played for each episode. Nope, it is recorded every single time. That is
Before
how we
we started
begin.
doing this, I guested on somebody's podcast, and I thought that too about their intro because it was so identical every single time. And then they were like, "Shh," and then they did the intro, and I was like,
You're like, wait a second, that's what we do too. Huh.
Yeah, it was wild. I was like, oh, okay.
You can also
have it recorded, but
yeah,
I don't know. It's
you-
weird now.
You'll definitely see how much Jessie edits out some of the extra things we say. We might sound less intelligent than typically.
You'll be getting the whole gamut of uncut Noona today for this live recording.
It's okay.
So speaking of KinnPorsche, Joy wants to say that one of her K-drama friends started watching and was like, "Where's the next episode?"
No.
So that's right. Since it is a Thai show, they only do once a week. So they really keep you hanging.
Yeah, and I guess we should warn you all now. We are going to spoil all of the episodes.
That's right. So
if that's not something you want to hear or be for,
this is your opportunity, if you're listening, to pause, go watch the episode, which is streaming on IQIYI. We are not sponsored, though.
In case you're curious about Googling that, it's IQIYI.
Yes, IQIYI. IQIYI. So we all watched it last night. What was everyone's first impressions? Shall we?
I liked it.
Yeah, it was enjoyable.
Yeah.
Action scenes are amazing. Like they're really tight and nice. I enjoyed that.
And from a technical aspect, that lighting team.
Oh my gosh, so good. That's one of the my favorite things about it. It was just like so good.
Well, in that BTS, like in the behind the scenes stuff, they were showing a bunch of different things, and at one point they showed that hallway that they had the motorcycle chase down, and they were like, "This is all a set. We built all of this," and it was really I was impressed because it the staining on the walls and all this stuff was
God
really,
bless those set designers,
really
am I right?
Good attention to detail that you don't always see in
That's true. Yes.
Some dramas are a little less attention to detail, shall we say, or don't have the money.
They don't have the budget. They don't have that IQIYI.
IQIYI budget. Yeah. So we have some commentators. Liliana says she went in, didn't even know what it was about, but she liked what she saw.
There you go.
Lucy says it was worth the wait so far.
Yeah.
We'll see. People are praising the production quality, and Joy loved everything. The action was phenomenal, and she thought it would be dark, but she laughed throughout the whole thing. So
that's true. Yeah, it was a lot lighter than I was kind of expecting.
Yeah. But I found like, okay, so a lot of times, like especially in Asian dramas, they will just suddenly do like a drastic mood swing into like going from like dark to just like pratfall comedy, and you're like, whoa, whiplash. This one did not do that. This one, there was like an actual arc into from, like serious action sequences to like, okay, amusing nonsense happening.
But they also would marry it sometimes too, like when Porsche was getting chased and a gunshot and he was scared, but like the way he was reacting, it was realistic, but it was very funny.
The arms going on their little journey when he shot the gun.
I'm not sure I've ever seen that, but I mean that's realistic. That's what normal people react
right? Like his arms went on a little journey without the rest of his body when that gun went off.
But it was like a tense moment, but at the same time it was funny, so it didn't feel like totally out of place in my opinion.
No. Or at that first fight scene when he's like, hang on a second, I gotta pee, like just
I need a moment, and then
give it a minute, and if they're having a big fight and he's like, I said I need a minute, like, and you're like, okay.
I have to say, so in the scene that we're talking about, he decides to take a break mid fight sequence, like pretty much before the fight sequence includes him, and to try to pee in an empty bottle because he has been drinking heavily and having unprotected relations with various rich women who pay him previously in this scene. And so he's just trying to have a pee before he gets into the action, and the guy tries to pull him in, and he performs the most disrespectful fight move I have ever seen in my life, which is when he takes the bottle half full of pee and smashes it over another guy's head. And I was like, no. Okay, this is where we are. We are here. Okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Liliana has a good point. She says, I like how they set the story up. They went straight into the action, but then gave us some good background. And I agree.
Yeah.
Like, I know that we haven't, the background that we got in the first episode was all about Porsche's character and upbringing, and just a little hint of Kinn's shenanigans. But I thought it was very well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like it was obvious where his motivations came from, and they didn't really leave you hanging with that very long. Like, because they made it very clear, like, oh, he's all about making money. And then you didn't even have time to wonder why he was all about making money. And they pretty much showed you exactly why.
They showed, they didn't tell. Yeah. And why? Because he's got a sweet, kind little brother who's in school and just absolute waste of space uncle.
Who is like good but not, like, you can see that he's like really nice, and you can understand why,
like he's not like he's good, not mean or abusive, but he's very much a gambling addict who wastes all of the money they need to get out of debt on crypto bullshit,
and then just keeps on relying on him and not taking into account that he's been like really trying really hard for them not to be beat up by loan sharks and stuff.
Yeah, because like his little brother's so cute. I just wanted to like
he's so cute.
I just wanted to pinch his little cheekies. I will say my only real big casting criticism is, wait, Porsche's supposed to be 24? That's a 24-year-old man. Okay. You know what? Sure. Like sometimes some people look a little older than they are, but okay.
He's had a hard life. He's been raising his brother and working hard.
Made him a sexy 29-year-old. I guess.
It ages you.
It ages you into sexiness.
I like the way the opening told us sort of both of their stories at the same time, though, too. Like, and it went back and forth from like Kinn meeting with the mafia guys to Porsche working in his bar, and it was because it was like leading up to the moment when they would meet and come together in this big fight scene. But like, I liked the way they did that. It kept going back and forth, and you were like, oh, okay, yeah, here's this life, and now we're back over here. And
I appreciated how the camera work cut too, because it was like Porsche sat down to drink and he was serving it, and then Kinn like something with a gun on the table too. So like the way it cut was really cool.
Yeah. I have to say the actor they chose to play the Italian mafioso was delightfully unsettling.
He was actually.
That tongue move that he did in the opening scene there made me very uncomfortable, which I think it was supposed to.
Yeah.
It was nice that, I mean, he's Italian or whatever, and it's not. So then when they're speaking English to each other, it's not weird that they both have accents, because they're not supposed to be English. He's not pretending to be an English guy from the States or something.
Yeah, it's not that standard
like,
K-drama.
The K-drama where it's like, yes, this, man from the Baltic regions, the American CEO who has a Finnish accent or something. It's just what? So Joy does bring up a good point. She says, the beginning transitions, you can see how different their life is, but how similar they are. Yeah, so
that's true.
Yeah, I really like that. It's just like, it's showing that depending on where you come from, where you end up can be vastly different, even if you have the same basic capabilities, because it's made very clear that both of them very good at fighting, pretty smart, attractive, but they're
charismatic.
Charismatic, but they have both ended up in vastly different locations in life. Also, I want to know more about Kinn's mom. She sounds like
a delight.
One hell of a woman.
That line is like, too bad I'm more like my mom. Bam! And you're like,
so,
wow.
If anyone is listening and didn't watch and are planning to and just want to know what we're talking about, right at the beginning where Kinn, who's the son of a mafia family, is meeting with an Italian mafioso, and the mafioso is like complimenting him like, oh, like, you must have learned all of this from your father and all this. And Kinn just looks at him and goes, well, that's funny. They tell me I take after my mom. And we're all just like, yeah, you do, bitch. Yeah, you do. She sounds awesome, because he's a bad dude. Like,
I did not see that. I mean, I figured there was going to be a gunfight scene at that, but you never expect to hear, yeah, I take after my mom, and then you pick up a gun and shoot somebody at it, like just out of nowhere, right? Like, that is not your typical. But it was good though.
I love it. You love to see it, because the dad seems fine. Your typical retired mafioso, just
some grand words of wisdom all the time, and seem pretty cool and chill.
He has a dark past.
Well, absolutely.
Obviously he does, because how else do you end up in this position in life, right? Now I gotta talk about. So Kinn has a bunch of bodyguards. And what a cast of characters we've only really been introduced to 2 bodyguards right now. Yeah,
they're gonna be fun. You can tell already. You're like,
100%.
We're gonna get some bodyguard found family shenanigans going on soon.
What's fun about watching it with Natalia is she comments, she's like, Stuart!
No, listen, okay. So
we love Stuart.
Okay, so one of the actors in it is an Australian Thai actor named Stuart Persnakun, and I am in love with him. Like, if you're wondering who he is, he was the one in the gray sweatsuit in the last scene. I have a big old schoolgirl crush on him. I just think he's the best. And he does have his own YouTube channel where basically he just does nonsense, like talk about how much he loves Pokemon and builds toy models and teaches you how to speak Thai. And we all love Stuart.
it does make it a little bit like, until you kind of get more of his character, it's a little difficult to take him seriously, because he's like trying to be like stern, and I'm a mean bodyguard. I can kill you in a second, and we're like, okay, settle down, Stuart.
It's like, listen, I watched you try unusual jelly bean flavors like last week. Like, calm down, my boy. But no, I had me trying to act up. He had me trying to act up. But but there was another one. He's got like long hair. He was the one who gets shot in like the opening fight sequence, and I like him.
Oh, his name was Big.
His name was like Big.
Yeah.
But I think his like Thai name is Book, if I'm remembering correctly. I liked his vibe.
No, I liked how it did really kind of settle mostly into the mafia stuff, like very early on, because I was kind of worried about that, because like we obviously looked at all of the stuff kind of beforehand. Like I had watched that first original trailer
from like back
like the very first one, where it was just like everybody was watching on Twitter, and then like saw the kind of progression of stuff. So it was kind of like I didn't know if they were going to lean in as hard, especially in the first episode. So that was really nice being able to see that, and kind of allowing it to be a little bit more grittier too, because that's what personally I would like in a drama. So I was worried about that, but then it gave me that, even though there are those points of time in the show where it's humorous, I personally didn't find them to be too jarring for me.
Yeah, and it wasn't out of place humor. Like it all felt strangely realistic.
Yeah, like a lot of the times it was like him with his friends, and then so that like humor would happen, and then like maybe like it's like the scene where he's on the pier or whatever, like that was humorous, but it just seemed like it was like more like cocky humorous too. He was just trying to like get them to not shoot him. It was more the intention than like giving a joke. So I really liked how those kind of transitioned, and I think the show allowed those transitions into tone. Like they gave the show the time to transition into those, and so you got a good pick. But like also it largely being darker was a lot of fun.
Yeah, because it gives it sort of a more of an air of reality than if it just vacillates so quickly between like forced grittiness, and then like it doesn't have like over the top violence when it was like it all felt like this is what a gunfight might be like, not like these people are doing like crazy flips and dodging bullets, like no.
Well, yeah, we also got that like set up that like he already knew how to fight, and it wasn't just like he gets into fights at the bar. He actually like was doing street fighting and like stuff lot for money. Then
you do find out that he was also like a martial arts champion.
Yeah, you get a little bit of a background. It's not just like he picked it up on the streets, and you're like, a lot of that you can't just pick on the streets and be that good.
Yeah. Like that was a pretty impressive like spin kick. Like I feel like you need a little bit of training.
It's not because of like rowdy patrons at the bar. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of the bar, my favorite character that we got introduced to was the bartender.
Fun.
I don't even know her name. She was so great.
I loved her vibe.
Her sparkly shirt.
Episode. That's what I want.
So I did see her in another show recently, but her character was much less likable in that. She played like the evil, over the top manager in Paint with Love. She was kind of a clown, like an evil clown in that. That was more of your traditional pratfall style BL rom-com. So in this one, she seems to have like this nice fully fleshed.
Her name's Yoke.
Yeah.
Okay. I love her like real name is Sprite. The actress's name is Sprite.
That's such a cute name.
It is a cute name.
Adorable. I love it.
Yeah, Lucy says, "Oh, the injustice of female characters in BL." Yeah, Lucy, we know. So we're hoping that she continues to be. I
think she's going to be like the sassy friend, and she's going to be like the other person to give like words of wisdom and stuff.
Yeah.
Shall we place bets how many other females there will be in the cast?
Okay, listen. I've seen the cast list. It's slim pickings. She may be the only named female character, and we just have to accept this.
Listen,
she had lines so far. I mean,
she was cool. She's like older, like she's not like stereotypically the thin pretty girl. Like I'm more than fine with that being the only one too. Yeah. Honestly, like don't give me the supermodel. Give me that kind of character. You know, like a character with character. You know. Oh, I get it. We're not gonna get a lot, but maybe we'll like find one like mafia member who becomes female and she's like a really good like fighter or something. That would be awesome.
The cinematographer is female. So that's
the cinematographer
and she was great.
Female. Yeah, and she's doing
the cinematography is great and the blocking in this is fantastic. Like some of the shots were just so well done. How they put up everybody and just with the bar lighting, it just so good.
Yeah. No, it's Oh, just that first scene where you meet Porsche and he's got like the angelic lighting coming down over him as he's like, "Hey, ladies," and you're just like, "Oh, okay, I see." He's like, fallen angel type. I see you, show. I get what you're putting down. Also, his shirts are allergic to buttons.
Oh yes, very much so.
Every single
or at least his like neck. It's just like
right below like his titties. Yeah. It's like that's where they end. That little line right below your pecs where your like abs begin. That's where his shirts cease to be able to be buttoned, no matter what he's wearing.
Which I mean, have a button budget.
Kinn apparently has a similar allergy because many of his shirts were also but he often had a jacket over top or something.
Yeah,
so
it's classic.
I don't know.
He's putting on a beautiful ombre suit or something over top.
Loved it.
Oh, that ombre suit was chefkid. Some of these outfit choices are. Listen, we got all of the faves coming in. You had the allergic to buttons shirts. You had the beautiful ombre suits. You had a gray sweatsuit. We all know what gray sweatpants do to some women and men. Just beautiful suits. Just beautiful tailored. And the set design and like the locations and stuff. These beautiful buildings, like beautiful sets.
I liked again in the behind the scenes, he was talking about the scene where they're on the boat where he gets shot at and does crazy arms. That they're filming it and like a rainstorm came in, so they like rowed the boat like farther down the river so that they could like try
get out of the rain
and get the shots done before like they got soaked. So
that's fun.
Yeah.
That it was just really cool. That whole scene on the boat, the fight sequence on the boat where him and Kinn have their first physical interaction with each other, shall we say. That was a vicious fight. Like that was a very realistic gentleman fighter meets street scrapper to his dismay. And went literally for the groin with that. That was
the
a
jugular
wild fight.
And the jugular, literally.
Yeah.
There was a cute little afterwards. You could see his lipstick, his little lip mark on Kinn's neck where he bit him. He's like, he really went for it.
Yeah, and I really love that scene especially because I think that was the perfect example of how this show is like blending serious and humor because he's been kidnapped and first he tries to crack some jokes while he works out how to get out of his hands tied up. So he's just telling some jokes. Then he frees himself because he's a smart street scrapper. And she's like, okay, I can fight my way out of this. Like, I know I'm on a boat in the middle of the river, but you know, I think I can fight my way out of this. So he then fights the dirtiest fight you've ever seen. Like, he is not polite in any way. And then so he's running. They shoot at him, and he's like, he does this little arm seizure. And then they're like, you know, you really have two choices. Like, you can either come work for me, or like, you know, we have the guns here. And he's like, you do. And then just jumps off the boat into the river and swims away. And they're all just like, and it's so unexpected, even as like to the viewer watching this, it is such an unexpected turn of events that the characters who are just dumbfounded at what they just witnessed are so realistic, because we have an audience are also like, wait, did he just jump off the boat? And you're just like, okay, he just all right,
this is where we are.
Okay, I see. And it was the perfect blend of, you know, serious and humor that I think that the writing on this is so far very good.
Yeah. I do too.
Yeah.
I know that we since it's just the first episode, we have not met all of the characters, not even all of the characters that are in the opening credit sequence. We have not. Yeah. So it's just like, ooh, like who are they going to bring out from the first this company, Beyond Cloud? I know that I haven't read the novel or anything. I don't think any of us have. No. So Kinn has two brothers, one who's kind of like a layabout clown, and one who's mysterious and sexy, right? And then there's also like another dude who's like his, you know, rival or something, who's into pain play, from what I can gather. Like, I'm very, you know, I only know what the previews have given us, and they've given us wild promises. So Lucy says it's giving me hopes.
Yes.
Yes. So far, so good.
Well, here's the question. So since we all like watched all of the trailers, do you think what we're getting now with Beyond Cloud is what we would have got, like, even with like the previous companies thing? Do you think it would be
not
way?
Like okay, so the preview that was made by the first company was very different in tone. It was more along the lines of a more traditional BL, so it was a little campier and a little, you know,
a little brighter,
more playful and stuff.
Yeah.
And then when they then we went through the whole roller coaster of, well, I guess KinnPorsche is canceled, and then Beyond Cloud being like, just kidding, we bought it. You thought. And then they started putting out like the teaser previews that they did, which were these like art nouveau noir, like, you know, abstract, dark, gritty student film feeling, like very what's the word I'm looking for here, like intriguing, like previews that were very like art house style. And I was like, okay, this is wildly different than the first company's like interpretation. And then I started to have like, because at first I was like, with the original preview, it seemed more like less interesting than what the second company has been marketing it as. So as Angela here in the chat says, the first preview was very much family against family, with Porsche dragged into it. And with the, like, when it got bought over, and I hear like they brought in a whole new writing team and everything, it seems like they're leaning more heavily into the mafia aspect.
Yeah, like the inner workings of mafia.
Yeah, sort of like, you know, and then, but also like a dramatic love story within the confines of, you know, the organized crime family.
Mm-hmm.
And I like this a lot better because, like, listen, there's enough of the same old BLs. They're fun and I love them. Obviously, I watch literally hundreds of them. You know me, but like it's nice to see a different story being told, and like, you know, like older, you know, we got older characters, we've got, you know, it's not them being like, oh, I've never liked a man before, what a conflict. And this is just like, yeah, okay, we're just two sexy organized crime dudes doing sexy organized crime. It's like my favorite fan fiction, you know. Because as Joy says, this is for the grown folks.
It is.
Lucy says,
definitely not to watch with knee-high children about.
Yeah.
No. And Lucy says, I mean, one, it's not in the engineering department. Like, so, you know, by not having anyone in the engineering department, we've truly strayed from, you know, the roots of Thai BL into a whole new genre by that alone.
What would be really funny, though, is when you start getting to know some of, like, the bodyguard characters. If one of them was like, yeah, back when I was in school for engineering.
See, I would actually heartily chortle at that. Like, that would get a good chuckle out of me, because, like, you know, the joke is, you know, if you're in Thailand and someone says they're in engineering, you're like, oh, say no more. Like, we get it. But like, it's nice to see different sorts of stories and more like, you know, adult themed stories be put out, because while college and high school stories, they're fine and they're fun, and we all enjoy that from time to time. I feel like the genre of BL, you know, or, you know, gay, lesbian, whatever, you know, trans, asexual, whatever you want to do, it deserves more than just one type of story.
Absolutely.
Right.
So, and I know that there will be some out there that are like, well, yeah, but not this type of story. Like, this is the wrong sort of story. Like, there's no wrong sort of story. If straight couples get to have mafia AUs, you know,
if they get to be
if they get to, you know, have sexy BDSM organized crime shows, so do the gays. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and yay for morally gray characters, or even an actual dark character. Like, that's great.
Yeah. People have depths, and just assigning just one kind of depth to someone just because they are the minority doesn't do anything to help anyone.
It does absolutely nothing.
Hurts in the long run. Even when you proclaim you are a person who is trying for the best for these minorities, all you're doing is hurting them when you're pigeonholing them to what you think they should be.
If what you think that gay people need is to be put in a box, that they are not allowed to expand beyond anything that you have deemed a positive quality for queer people to have, you're not doing the service to the queer community that you think you are doing.
Yeah, and like, I mean, like, even also as like a watcher, you're deciding that like the watchers who might be a part of that community can't have a varied experience. They can't have like different genres in the things that they watch with like the couples represented on the screen. And that's like, it just doesn't, like, it hurts everyone. It doesn't make any sense to like do something and be like, oh no, they should be in this fluffy romance, or like, oh no, it's dark, so they shouldn't be doing that. That's bad. And you're like not everybody's one way.
On one hand, I get where I understand where it is coming from. And that is like the history of, you know, villains being the queer coded characters. Like, for God's sake, look, The Little Mermaid, the villain was clearly a drag queen. You know what I mean? And like, you know, if you look at, you know, like The Lion King, Scar was, you know, was a more effeminate, genteel character, like, which would be associated with, you know, gay men and all this. So like, I understand, like, but also completely disagree that it's like, just because in straight storytelling, gay people have been shifted onto the villain roles, that doesn't actually mean that the way to fix it is to make only like them only allowed to be good people. Everyone should be allowed to have like a gamut of characters. It's like, you know, when like I think we talked about this before, how annoying like the strong female character trope is, where it's like, since women for so long in cinema have just been, you know, eye candy for the male gaze, the answer is to not just make a male character a woman. And like, you know, that's not how it works. You can still have multi-dimensional characters.
Completely different for a bunch of people, and it's not just like one way. It's not just like being physically strong or looking strong or you know, being super confident and everything. You can be strong in different ways.
And I saw some, this wasn't even about KinnPorsche. This is just, you know, if we're on this you know, queer cinema situation now, where someone was getting really upset that, you know, there were, you know, more feminine gay men in like these shows. And I'm like, well, yeah, but feminine gay men exist, just like masculine gay men exist. And, you know, trans gay men exist. And, you know, like they run the whole gamut of the human experience, of which sexuality is but a small part of. And so we need to allow multiple types of characters and multiple types of people to be represented in, without, you know, immediately jumping to this is inappropriate or this is fetishization, which is another one that
there was a lot of that.
We're just like, okay, so just
before
like
it even came out, right? People were like, oh, this is going to be just porn. It's just violence and porn. That's all it's going to be. And I mean, the first episode was sexy, but there was no sex. Like, not really.
Not explicitly.
Like it's not like it was not porn. Like, it was just a sexy grown-up show. Like,
like the sex that was promised in this, if this was a straight couple, no one would bat an eye. No one would say, oh, this is fetishizing heterosexuality.
They would just say it was sexy.
That's it.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And as Lucy says, it's only a problem when it's the only type of thing that you're shown. So it's like the fact that these shows are now coming where it's like, we're going to show like different types of stories is, I think is positive, because that means that you get to have different types of stories that aren't just, you know, an engineering student and an architecture student meet in
struggling
college.
with their sexuality.
And you're like,
and
okay,
the viewers don't have to like kind of be held into this, you know, like, oh, well, I've got to watch another two young kids doing stuff, like, because that's all my representation is, even though I'm older and I want older, you know, relationships, or to see like older situations. And
and
or sometimes you want boom boom pow mafia stuff.
Sometimes you're just like, I don't like fluffy romance. Just because I'm gay, I don't still want to watch something that's like dark and you know, action backed, and like this is both worlds, you know.
What's sort of funny about this is that I love organized crime stuff, like organized crime movies and stuff. So even if this hadn't been gay, I would have probably still been watching it, because it has an interesting premise. And interesting characters and good action sequences, like
and if you had heard through the grapevine, hey, this high quality produced Thai mafia drama, it's like,
I'd be like, hell yeah, let's party, you know. Like, not that I'm saying that there aren't people out there with less than salacious reasons, like less than upstanding reasons for watching gay cinema. Yes, okay,
sure, absolutely.
But also on the other hand, like, even for straight watching, like, if we all analyze everyone's motives for some watching people something. Are all about wish fulfillment and some aren't, you know.
That's true.
A lot of people have a variety of motives, though. When it does come to watching LGBTQ things, there can be people that go after it, you know,
for unsavory reasons,
as far as to characterize gay people in a bad way. I mean, but as far as the amount of people that are actually getting joy out of watching this different genre thing is probably much, much greater than the handful of people that want to take something like that and then use it as a straw man type of argument about
but like they were gonna do that anyway. Right. They would have found the one criminal out of 1 million who happened to be gay and like, you know, be like, well, see, I told you, and you're just like, no, that stop it, get help, you know, like, oh yeah.
I mean, as far as boy love tropes go, one of the things that I like about this story and this genre is that, like, we got that fight scene and they're very evenly matched. Like, they both can fight, they both are strong, they're both big and muscular and strong and everything, and it's not that typical trope of like the tall one and the small one, or the like the masculine one and the more feminine one, which
listen, we love that too.
In the boy, absolutely. But again, when that's all you get, and then there's a lot of guys who are like, that does not reflect my relationship at all. Like, you know, not every gay relationship has a more feminine one or a tiny one, or a, you know, like it's nice to just see two guys being, you know,
it's like when you see like a lesbian couple and some idiot is like, well, which one of you's the husband? And it's like, right? Neither of us. We're both women.
Has been a big
gotta have this word
stuff for so long, right? Like which one of you's the wife? And like lately, more and more of the boy love dramas have been going into, like, somebody will tease them and they'll be like, neither of us, we're both the husband. Like, that's wife means girl and we're not, so stop it. And you're like, oh, okay, let's do that.
Yeah, and as Lucy says, I've watched a lot of BL lately where it hasn't been so much as mentioned who is top or bottom, and it's good to not care. Exactly, right? Because how fucking awkward would it be if you were just out with your, you know, partner, and then, you know, even if you're like a straight couple and someone's like, oh, so who is it, cowboy or cowgirl?
Yeah, right.
And you just be like, what the fuck? Like, I don't need to talk about my sex life with you. Like, what is like, it's weird. Don't ask that. Don't even wonder. It does not matter.
No.
Yeah.
Like, like your personality and your sex preference is not, it's not like a Venn diagram of a circle. Like, overlapping,
not remotely related.
You know, when you
and also preferences are not like one or the other at all times.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist like that.
Like, no.
Like,
you know, I hate to say it, but I think the best discussion about this was actually in the show My Engineer, where he's like, oh, like the one character is like trying to figure out if he's gonna, you know, like, oh, is he top or like bottom? And then one of the other characters is like, does it fucking matter? Like, he's like, well, you know, like, you know, the weaker person's always the bottom. And he's like, no, they're not. Like, look at that couple over there. I happen to know for a fact that the little one's the top. So you don't know shit. Like, maybe you should reevaluate whether or not you're getting into this relationship under a good means, sir. Because it doesn't matter. To segue non-sequiturally, who enjoyed the PPL as much as I did on KinnPorsche?
That scene with
what was it? I was trying to figure that out.
It's like a mint inhaler.
Yeah.
And it's in everything right now. Like, they are every.
They're going hard on that, like
going hard on that thing.
On the
but
PPL
like,
train.
it was just like he stopped and like.
The turn, you had to like slow motion turn it so that you can see the label, like,
and then like freeze.
he was making a bank. There was like a few more slightly more subtle ones, like, you know, it had the zoom in on the Maserati logo with the 3 Maseratis at the beginning, because again, a show called KinnPorsche is official sponsor is Maserati. Which I know I've said often, but this is the greatest feat in like marketing sales I've ever seen in my life. And then there was another one, like some sort of like snack cake of some sort that they ate dramatically in the scene after. And I was like, oh, I see you, PPL.
Yeah.
But that inhaler was just like GMMTV levels of
that was
like just okay, because it actually was on Bad Buddy. They had that inhaler too, so it's been making the rounds. They've been.
So is the context for this PPL typically like I'm going to do something tough, therefore I need to use this mint inhaler first? Because that's kind of the way it was used.
Or like someone's like like swooning or something. Like
it's like for the vapors or whatever, like getting out the smelling salts, but you're like
for the vapors.
Like it's that kind of like
for the vapors.
See, I don't. It's so funny. This might be a semi-unpopular in the general population, but I don't get too bothered by like obvious product placement because I'm like, listen, the show like. They have to pay to get the show.
Yeah.
Like I get it. I get how
those are really expensive. I get it.
Like look at the quality of the filming on this show. They needed this inhaler money, More
like I give them props if they're able to do a PPL that's at least within like the I don't know, income level of the character to where it makes somewhat logical sense that this person might be able to afford this thing.
Or if it's like they're a profession, like if they're a chef and you constantly are like, showing like knife brands or like different like stuff. Like I like when you can tell that they kind of went like the extra mile, like they actually like tried to get those specific brands as opposed to a specific brand coming to them, which is what happens a lot. And that's why you see sometimes you're like, that's weird, but they have to put it in because they just came to them and they gave them the money. So
as Angela down here is saying, just need that Oishi drink because on BL drop, like I don't know, GMMTV must have like the longest term relationship with the iced tea brand Oishi because every show.
Everything.
Every show
just has that Subway thing where they just really love dramas, and they're like, "We'll just keep pouring money."
We've had a very good relationship with the GMMTV company for many years. No, it's like the Subway and K dramas. Every time I see them go to Quiznos, I feel so betrayed. I'm like, what? Too good for Subway? Are we drama? Like,
I was watching a Taiwanese drama and. They're like, we need to go for coffee to have like a serious discussion. I was like, cool, I'm going to get to like see a cafe. No, we go to Subway for coffee.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Lucy says, I don't know who's seen the drama be melodramatic, but every time I see PPL, I think of her desperately trying to shoehorn some in.
I'm watching it right now, and it's just like, she's
doing
struggles.
The most.
Oh, she struggles. And she's going to the director and she's like, listen, this is your job. It's in the contract. Like you have to make him. And he's like, make them yourself. I don't care. Like my job is done. You already gave me the money. I'm not giving it back kind of thing. And she's like, I need her to eat the chicken. I need him to wear the face mask. I need I need you to like push the freaking vacuum cleaner. Just do it. Cause I paid you to do it.
So I feel that sort of has that energy with the inhaler in KinnPorsche where you're like, okay, so they're putting a lot of effort into this one scene, so they probably don't have to ever do it again. Like, just show it up, be like, look, do you see? Look.
The best one was in the first episode of Be Melodramatic, which really reminded me of this because it's like a mafia like shootout scene and they haven't eaten the little like Jello cups yet, and this is the last scene of the last episode and they have to get it in, and like the blood pools and it's like pouring out of the guy's body and the camera pans and it pours around the expertly placed Jello cup and the director's like, what the heck? And he just loses it. What? How does that fit in the story? She's like, I don't know, but you didn't make it fit earlier, so this is what I did. Like,
so kudos to them actually putting it in a relevant scene on KinnPorsche. Like, he got punched quite a few times in that scene. I feel like smelling salts would be a appropriate. I don't actually know, like,
get some wine brands or something.
Yeah. They should have gone for a gun manufacturer.
Right?
Well, the problem is, like, gun of KinnPorsche.
You have to know guns to know the brand.
I'm pretty sure that you aren't allowed to civilians aren't supposed to
Probably
own guns in Thailand.
Yeah.
It'd be hard, like, unless they went into like an actual gun show or store and like showed the box, so then you actually saw the logo of it, as opposed to just like hoping they know what it is.
Suits.
A suit.
Oh, listen, I kind of want to know who made that ombre suit, because I feel like I'd look mighty sharp in it. Usually I see these fashion choices and I'm like, I would look straight potato in that. But I don't know. I feel like I could wear that sparkly jacket that the bar owner was.
Yeah.
Because her and I have a similar build. So
And I agree with Katie, where like if it's something that I actually like makes me want it, that's good. Like most of the time it's like, nah, you didn't make me want it.
Most of the time if it's so ridiculous, you just laugh at it. But it's like me watching them go on a romantic date in Subway has never once made me want to go to Subway.
I mean, like, the times I'm like, yeah, I could go for Subway right now.
Yeah.
But also that's I can't like eat anything at Subway because of my food allergies. But still, like, well, occasionally some of those coffee shops look good.
The coffee or like the Maxim coffee, I'm always like,
right, yeah.
I could have some of that.
Or I mean, semantic error. We were all like, I want to try that now.
We found out it's not even
fake coffee brand. Yeah. That wasn't even PPL. They lost such a good opportunity.
Should have been, because like I would have gone and bought some.
Be like, I wonder if it's as gross as they're all saying. Like reverse PPL. They just spent the whole time saying how bad it was, and we're like, well, now I gotta know. Like,
I gotta try it. Like,
let me be the judge of that.
You can't tell me what to do. Oh, KinnPorsche. So, what do people think is going to happen? What are some predictions? Like, do we have any thoughts? Like, how are these two enemies going to become lovers?
Do you think the uncle is going to show up like a fair bit?
Or like tie back, like somehow, like he has a pack.
I feel like we have not seen the end of this uncle. Like,
I don't think so either, because they did show him a lot in the show. Yeah. I could see him tying back, even if it's just like a thing that maybe someone like kidnaps them or something, you know, him and the brother, and then they have to go get them. But I think that's going to be a bigger thing than we've got.
I'm like really interested to see how they tie in Porsche's little brother back into the story.
Yeah.
Because like, you know, I know things like that, and I've been informed about his romantic partner in the show.
In the original casting, the actor playing the younger brother was already kind of coupled up with actor who's playing one of the brothers. So everyone was sort of like, oh, okay, like obviously they're gonna, but now the actor has changed for the brother. So, you know, maybe they go a different direction, or maybe they are still gonna have some.
We don't know. But I'm like curious to see how they bring him back in, because like he seems pretty outside of it right now. But I
could see it's something like, because he likes him so much that he's gonna go try to find him where he is. He's not just gonna like accept the like, oh, this is like this really great opportunity for me. He's gonna be like, I'm going to find you, and like show up at the house or something.
Alternately, it could be a thing like, you know, someone, you know, a little bit down the line sees the romance between the bodyguard and, you know, mafioso, you know, Kinn and Porsche getting together, and is like, okay, I need a way to control the bodyguard in order to get in. So like, you know, that's always a classic organized crime situation.
Is the school thing, like they kept talking about having to pay for the kids' tuition and stuff. Is he going into college and that's what they're right? So what if he's like college classmates with like the youngest brother in the mob family or something? Like maybe the youngest brother is in college or starting college or whatever. Like I could see that being kind of a
maybe they're in the engineering department.
That's the engineering department.
Well, I thought the little brother was in music. I thought that was the
yeah.
I think that's what
engineering club.
The youngest brother, I think, in the family is supposed to be into music too. So or arts, into the arts somehow. So that could be it, like that they meet and then that kind of ties some things around that way. I'm wondering if they're going to do a thing like in the last couple episodes where like Porsche finds out that, you know, the car accident that killed his parents or whatever was actually caused by.
God, I hope not. I always hate that.
Know, like
I always hate that.
It's
just like
thing.
Just sometimes people can just be dead, you know.
They don't have to be died.
You don't always
need
some deep meaning behind. Like car accidents are very common. Like
I know.
No, all I can think about is that the Taiwanese George Hu and Annie Chen one, where like his dad was the one who like. I was like, no.
The family guilt that occurred for however many episodes of that show. It's like
Joy's prediction. Joy, I don't know if this one's gonna happen, but Joy's prediction is I think their moms were best friends. The old childhood.
They were like together during like, you know, when they were pregnant or something. That would actually be very sweet.
Long lost childhood friends is another one. I'm tired of it. Not everyone needs to have like some faded past. Like you can just meet people as adults.
I mean, they could do something like his mom had a relationship with one of the mafia people or something too.
Yeah.
Tie it. Like scandal.
Because like, listen, him and his brother do not look that much alike. I'm
just throwing that out there.
Just putting that out there.
I personally hope that we get to see a lot more of like the inner workings of the mafia. So maybe like there is going instead of, you know, like the classic like dress up scene where like, you know, like the main character gets like new wardrobe or whatever. It's kind of more of like mafia like tied. So like you go through and see like what they do and what their training is and that sort of thing and kind of get the inner works in. Because I think like with that crew, I really want to see their personalities and like I think they're gonna be fun like side characters. So I'm hoping they kind of focus on that.
Especially since Porsche was like, I'm not going to be your bodyguard unless I can be their boss.
Yeah.
These two guys. Like, that's going to come back and bite him in the butt.
I'd be pissed. I would be pissed. As like, you know,
like, no, I've been here forever. I have seniority. Come on.
Working as a bodyguard for the mafia.
Classic,
and then
like,
this fucking bartender comes in.
Manager
and is like, I'm your boss now. I'd be like, this is bullshit.
I mean, if I was him, I'd be like, listen, I kicked all your butts. So, like, clearly I have more talent for this than you. So,
yeah.
Give me the job.
Also, in his defense, part of him kicking their butts was him just bailing. Being like, fuck it, I'm out of here. So, you know, choose your battles wisely, kids. That's the lesson to be learned from his actions in episode 1. Oh my god. I just hope that it keeps sort of like a nice mix of like grit and playfulness that it's had so far because it makes it really fun to watch.
Yeah.
That hour flew.
Yeah,
it really did.
I was like, we're done already?
Yeah, I was kind of bummed. And what I find really funny though, because like that hour flew and it felt like there were no real superfluous scenes. There's a made for TV 45-minute cut that you can also watch. And I was like, no.
What?
I was tempted because I was like, I kind of want to see like
what they cut.
Mm-hmm. But like,
I guess
I also don't want to waste my time on a 4TV cut of an R-rated show. That just feels like watching a movie on TVN where they like just have someone dubbing in like ass instead of worse words. And you're just like, oh boy.
They probably cut out just like mostly all the like fighting and stuff.
Yeah.
I was gonna say even like maybe the street fighting, the you know, the fight for money section, you could maybe cut that out and still have, you still know he's can fight and he wants money. So like you could probably cut that out, but like then why film it if you're not going to show it to people?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I enjoy seeing bad hot takes. I find a little bit of amusement about bad hot takes. And one that came around before that this aired was there had what I can only assume was just like a coding error on the IQIYI website where it was rated PG-13 for like a day. And people were like, oh, I guess that preview was a lie then. Like, I guess like it's not as, hardcore as they said it was. And then it was just like when I signed in the next day, it was like, it's rated R. I was like,
maybe that was because of them doing the cut, like the PG-13.
The PG-13 cut was the 45-minute TV appropriate.
Though, once we get to the saucier episodes, it is going to make me curious, how those episodes would read.
Because I don't
take that stuff.
Yeah, because I don't want to tell anyone their business, but like the teaser previews for this had some bare bahunks on it, some patakas for your perusal. So I'm like, okay, like clearly they've decided to go sexy edgy with this. So I feel like if you cut all of that out, like I'm not saying that like the show needs sex for it to work, but it just, I don't know, man.
If you're selling it with sex and then you just don't.
What I found sort of funny was that, so they put out the preview for KinnPorsche, like the one that came out before the show. Not the original one, the one that came out like a couple weeks ago. And then IQIYI put out like the IQIYI preview for it. And so I was like, oh, I wonder if it's like a different. It's exactly the same preview, except they cut out the little post foot job scene. So I was like, oh, okay. That's where IQIYI drew the line for it. Okay, I see.
And they really built up like dropping that teaser and stuff too. I thought it was going to be a totally different thing.
Yeah. I did too, and I watched it. I was like, "Oh, this is the same teaser, but without the playful foot job." Okay, gotcha.
Got it.
Gotcha.
I mean, I do suppose, like, if you cut out the saucy stuff, ultimately your plot can move forward. Yeah. It's just,
Yeah. Like, listen, unless
the mafia-ness of things lessens.
Listen, it all really depends on how much exposition is happening during sex scenes, right? Like, if you're being divulged impertinent plot information while two people are doing it, like, you're gonna have to have another way to deliver this information to the audience if you're gonna cut it. It's just, it fades to black with a little, like, silent movie. It's like, and then
he learned.
Oh my goodness.
So 14 episodes, 14 weeks.
Yeah.
Is it
we did
VIP on IQIYI?
Yes.
Okay. So I let my membership lapse. So I might have to.
Like,
So what I might wind up doing is leaving it till closer to the end, and then
watching it all at once.
Watch it all in 1 month. Not like there's not a million other shows on right now that I'm also trying to watch.
That's true.
So and it's so hard. Like one episode of so hard. I'm watching.
The one episode
of,
enough. Yeah.
Thai stuff that from last year that I meant to watch last year and I never did. And I'm like, oh, now it's all out and I can just watch it. So
what's that? No, I keep telling myself, oh, Natalia, you're not gonna do. You're not currently airing show, Natalia. You're gonna just wait for it. Never do. No, I'm watching like 5 currently airing shows plus like a billion finished ones, and I'm just like, you're just doing this to yourself. Lucy says it's painful enough waiting for Cutie Pie. I know, Lucy. I'm with you there. See, if you really just want to know like the full gamut of what fun gay BL TV can be, you can just watch Cutie Pie and KinnPorsche, which both come out on the same day, and see just the true spectrum, just the absolute spectrum of what you can get.
We definitely, as a whole, prefer binging when we can.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. But this is definitely a show that I feel like if you try to wait,
ooh, you're gonna get spoiled some bad.
Yeah. Later on, you're gonna get spoiled with something.
Listen, let me tell you, some of our compatriots over on Twitter do not know how to tag things properly.
And they're gonna put on those episode numbers, and then I'm
stop
going
it with
hit
the
everyone
episode
and block
listen,
you.
And you can hashtag the episode numbers, but also just hashtag the title of the show.
Step 1 is hashtag the title of the show.
I want to have to sit there and input 30 different hashtags to mute.
None of us do. None of us do.
I like an episode hashtag from the perspective of, like, especially if I have left it and now I'm catching up, I like to use the episode hashtag as well as the regular one. But to let people know, because sometimes you tweet something and then somebody who's farther along comes in and goes, I know, wasn't it? And you're like,
no. Stop it.
I figure if I put the episode number, then maybe some people will be a little bit more respectful about the things they like divulge in the replies. But
sometimes they don't care. They'll just actually force you into a spoiler. And you're like, I'm sorry, what? You actually commented that? Like, it's clear I'm not there. Why would you do that?
You could have chosen not to.
Just following the hashtag.
Yeah, it's just like some random person.
You don't go here.
Like, listen, if you're, Lucy says, always default to the show title. If you are out there, choose the show title. You can always add another hashtag that has the episode title.
They've given us so many more characters now.
I'll even say further. So, like, let's say KinnPorsche in particular. It's an example of there's actually a popular hashtag that's KinnPorsche the series.
Yeah.
So guess what? If I was to tweet about this, I would actually do KinnPorsche the series and KinnPorsche. Like, I would do
also
both
kind of
tags.
Helps you into the people who like the episode numbers things. If that was the case, if I to not get spoiled with anything, if I went away with KinnPorsche, I would have to do KinnPorsche ep 1, 2, 3, 4. So the 14 of those, and then go back and do KinnPorsche the series ep 1, 2. So 28 then, and then this high
and that's praying that people are doing the EP because sometimes they just put a number.
Someone doesn't misspell it, and then everybody takes that misspelling because it auto does it, and then you get stuck.
Yep. Yeah, because people notoriously don't spell Porsche correctly.
No.
Already. So I could see people being very well-meaning, trying to tag everything, and they've gotten, a spelling error.
The struggle is real.
It's just these shows, there are actually things that would spoil something and would not make it enjoyable to watch. So just stop.
It's not like me. It's listen. It's not like me watching a Weekender like I do, where it's okay, listen, we all know where this is going. There's not going to be some great
the
twist.
Mother-in-law is upset.
Oh no! This weekend the kimchi slap happened. We're all in shock at that twist. Just be polite, please. We beg of you, please. Sir. So from what we're saying, I'm going to make a very bold assumption, not that bold, and assume that all of us are going to keep watching this show. This is
in some way.
Yeah. So
it's going to be hard to do one episode a week, though.
I have wait 4 dramas right now that are one episode a week, and I hate it. I hate it so much.
We've been spoiled with the K-dramas, with the 2 a week.
Yeah.
And even now, we've been further spoiled with Netflix pre this new airing it weekly thing that they've decided to do, which I hate, where they would just drop the whole series and and you can just enjoy it at your leisure.
Because there are some days I'll be like, yes, I'm going to watch 8 episodes in a row, and I want that for me. And then,
and you've chosen that as your day, and that is
valid.
Just a wonderful I'm gonna be honest. I'm like a big Bridgerton hoe, and when the newest season just dropped, I didn't do anything else that day. No, I was like, it's Bridgerton Day, bitch. Leave me alone. Like, I literally
haven't yet, but like, I'm saving it for that, like, for that day when it's like, okay, today is nothing.
That's all
I'm
I
not
want to
doing
do.
anything, and there's 8 episodes. I can just sit and watch. The kids have gone off to school, and now I am going to become one with the couch. Like,
I literally like woke up, took my phone, turned over, opened my phone, opened Netflix, and hit play, and then just stayed there until I needed to eat something. Yes, Katie does make a good point here. She says, I don't mind the Netflix airing weekly if the show is on air in Korea, because otherwise you get spoiled for the entire series.
Yeah,
we're
true.
Looking at you, Disney Plus.
Well, also, when it's airing on Netflix, it's guaranteed timely subs. We're looking at you, Vicky.
Yep. Yeah. Because, I mean, we don't, as much as we love to binge and we love when Netflix drops all at once, we don't want to go back to those early days when Netflix was doing all the like stupid stuff where it was like one country got to watch it as it aired and 3 countries were going to get it as soon as it was done and 4 countries were getting it a week late and then
it was like for the first time
6 months and then it would drop and you were
when
like,
when that happened for the first time ever, Canada like came out on top because they were like, Canada gets it as it airs, and we're like, wait, what? Really? And it was like the US was like, and the US gets it after it's done. I was like, wait, really? Like this was
I was like, wait,
unusual for me.
I think that would happen with what was it, Live, the police drama, and I was like, wait, no, I want to watch it now. What are you doing?
Like, well, and I was just enjoying my time watching Live, just like woo.
Exactly. And it's like when they give you one, you're like, okay, I feel like I have to make use of that. So
yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, the UK is still waiting. Like that happens with. I've got a friend who's in Brazil, and like so often she'll be like, nope, still hasn't come here yet, and I'm like, it's been out for a year. What are you talking about? No. Nope.
But I think IQIYI just sort of puts, here you go. Here you go. I know that like I don't use IQIYI that often, but I've been using it more and more as they've been getting a more variety of dramas. Like I
had to diversify
on there. Yeah, they had to because of certain legal issues in their home country, let's just say.
They had to expand their business.
They had to expand beyond the borders due to making money. Due to capitalism, they had to move on out, you know.
For unforeseen needed capitalism reasons.
Yeah, for completely foreseen capitalism reasons. To not fully just focus on mainland Chinese content. So womp womp.
So yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. It'll be fun.
I am too. I will
the tone of it. Like I hope the tone continues. And even if there was one episode that's like way darker, I still think that the balance that it's
even out over time. Because like there always has to be in like the terms of like a narrative arc, they've got to take that dark turn at some point.
I mean, right? Like the stakes are higher at some point. Right now we're not at super high stakes.
Like 14 episodes. Can you imagine the shenanigans that they're going to get up to in 14 episodes?
I can only imagine with anticipation what they're about to get. So anyway, that was our live recorded podcast episode for the first time ever on KinnPorsche. We hope you all enjoyed listening to it. You can listen to it here on YouTube where we recorded it, or you can go to basically anywhere else that podcast can be found. And of course, as always, the episode will be up on our website, certifiednoonas.com. And if you are here on YouTube, don't forget to, the usual like and subscribe, that sort of thing, as all them YouTubers say. And if you would like to support our podcast, you can go to patreon.com/certified Noonas to become part of the Patreon found family.
And you really want to do it this week.
You really do,
we are releasing a very fun episode where we looked at the comments of KinnPorsche.
A very fun episode.
Found some lively discussions that we had to comment
on. we found the hottest of hot takes in the comment section and had pretty much the greatest time doing essentially a radio play of the hot takes. And Katie here said, "Oh no," and
yes. It's the level of we should like do a skit.
It was so comedic that I think I was crying.
Yeah. Next time we should each assign one of us roles, and then we'll
there were several users involved in the comments.
In fact,
anyway, so if you want access,
those of you who do support us on Patreon, if you end up liking it that much, we will go back and we will make a little skit.
Yeah, we can make it happen. And if you like the concept of this, we do a lot of, we do like behind videos that don't end up in the public eye, shall we say. They're called Noonas After Dark, and this is one of the Noonas After Dark.
They're a little spicier, maybe not.
Yeah, a little more.
All of the internet to comment on.
Yeah, we want the people who already like us to listen to this, not the people we're enticing to like us. Once you get the full flavor of the Noonas brand, then you can go into our spicier takes, as it were. Anyway, so if you want to do that, you can go to patreon.com/certified Noonas to become part of the Found Family. We also have a Found Family movie night every month, which is super fun. The last one we watched Red Carpet, and I think we all had a blast.
Yes,
that was great. Yes. So we do that. We have little extras up there and just fun stuff. And we love all of our supporters, and we think they're thebomb.com.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to find us on social media, we are mostly on Twitter and Instagram as the reliable places to find us. And it's always at Certified Noonas, one word. And that's basically our whole spiel, except for one thing, where we say at the end of every episode, don't forget we are still in the middle of a pandemic. So we hope that you wash your hands and wear a mask. And of course, keep enjoying Asian entertainment. Thank you for coming to this live episode recording. We hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.